So hello learner, once again I welcome on the class of Foundation Engineering. So today I will discuss about the value of number of blows found to be from the SPT value, and I will correlate this SPT value with the compactness of the soil, and after that I will correlate the value of SPT value with the consistency of the soil, and then what is the relationship between the SPT and CPT value, and then I will relate the friction ratio value with the type of soil, and after that I will discuss about the type of soil sample, like what is undisturbed soil sample, what is disturbed soil sample, and the degree of disturbance, how to compute, and what is the area ratio, what is the inside clearance, and what is the outside clearance. So now I am going to discuss the this is the SPT value related to the relative density of cohesionless soil. So if the N value will increases, so degree of denseness will or degree of compactness will increase. We can already discuss in the soil mechanics that the value of relative density with the compactness of the soil, if the value is less than 15%, then it is very loose, medium, dense, and very dense. But this value is related with the standard penetration test N value, that is if the relative density is less than 15% or the compactness of the soil is very loose, then the N value lies between 0 to 4, and if it is loose, means relative density lies between 50 to 35, then the value of N value is lies between 4 to 10, and this N value is also correlated with the angle of internal friction of the soil. So we can see that very dense and the relative density is greater than 85%, the value of SPT N value is greater than 50. Similarly, this SPT N value is correlated with the consistency of the soil. So consistency, we have this type of consistency, very soft, medium, steep, very steep, and hard, and we can see the N values. So for very hard soil, the value is N value is greater than 30, and very soft, the value of N is 0 to 2, and this N value is once again correlated with the unconfined compressive strength in kilopascal, or we have already discussed this unconfined compressive strength with the consistency. So for very soft soil, the unconfined compressive strength is less than 25, and for soft it is 25 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 400, and greater than 400. So we have to remember this value also, that once the consistency is changing from very soft to hard, the value of N value will definitely increase, and the unconfined compressive strength will also increase. Now after that I am going to discuss the correlation between the CPT and SPT test. So the correlation between cone penetration test and standard penetration test. So for the state of sand, once again we have taken the compactness like very loose, medium, dense, very dense. So we have already know the value of relative density range for very loose, medium, dense, and very dense. But the N value is less than 4, and this value is also discussed. But the cone penetration resistance in megapascal, if for very loose soil it will be less than 2 megapascal, for loose soil it will be 2 to 4, for medium soil it is 4 to 12, for dense it is 12 to 20, and for very dense it will be greater than 20. Similarly, another term we get from the cone penetration test, that is the friction ratio, and this friction ratio is correlated with the type of soil, and friction ratio is defined as the ratio of sleeve resistance divided by cone penetration cone resistance into 100. So we can see that soil classification based on the friction ratio. So friction ratio is the ratio of sleeve resistance to the cone resistance into 100. So we can see that the friction ratio if lies between 0 to 0.5%, then the type of soil fall in this category is loose, gravel, fill, and if the friction ratio lies between 0.5 to 2%, then sand or gravel. Or we can see that once the friction ratio increase means our cone tip resistance will decrease. So when once the cone tip resistance decrease, it means the soil will be clay or pit soil. Or if the friction ratio is very less value, means it will be gravel soil. So we can see that once the friction ratio is increasing, the type of soil is from gravel to clay. These are the in the soil exploration, different types of boring is used: auger boring, wash boring, rotary drilling, displacement boring, percussion boring, and continuous boring. So these are the various techniques to collect the soil. This is the soil sample. So there are two types of soil sample. The first one is disturbed soil sample and undisturbed soil sample. So what is disturbed soil sample? So natural soil structure gets modified or destroyed during sampling operation. If I talk about the example, so the index properties of the soil will come into the will lie in the disturbed soil sample. With suitable precaution, we can preserve the natural moisture content and the proportion of mineral constituents, which is called representative sample. Similarly, undisturbed soil sample, so original soil structure is preserved as well as the mineral properties have not undergone any changes, then that type of soil sample is called undisturbed. And generally the engineering parameter or engineering properties of the soil will come in the undisturbed soil sample, like shear strength parameter, C, phi, and water content, consolidation characteristics are the example of undisturbed soil sample. So this degree of disturbance can depends on the cutting edge and internal inside wall friction. These are the various soil sampler. So soil sampler can be divided thin wall sampler or thick wall sampler, and this thin wall sampler or thick wall sampler can be categorized on the basis of area ratio. Similarly, so these are the classification of soil sampler on the basis of area ratio. What is area ratio? I will discuss after these slides. So, and based on the sampler design on the use of soil, so there are four types of sampler: open tube sampler, standard split spoon sampler, stationary piston sampler, or rotary sampler. So requirements of good sampling process. So this is the sampling soil sampler or split spoon sampler. So the requirements of good sampling process. So there are three parameters we have to read. The first one is inside clearance, denoted by CI. Second one is outside clearance, denoted by CO. And the third one is area ratio, AR. So let us discuss one by one. The first that will be, firstly I will discuss the inside clearance. Inside clearance. So inside clearance can be written as, if I draw the sampler, let us draw the soil sampler. So this is the this is called sampling tube. This is cutting edge or cutting shoe. Similarly, so this is the soil sampler. Cutting shoe diameter, inside diameter is D1, and this is outside diameter is D2. Similarly, this is called sampling tube. Inside diameter is D3 and outside diameter is D4, and this is D1. So if I talk about the where D1 is the inside diameter of the cutting edge or cutting shoe, sorry, this is D2. D2 is the outside diameter of the cutting edge or cutting shoe. Similarly, D3 is the inside diameter of the sampling tube, and D4 is the outside diameter of the sampling tube. So if I write the expression of inside clearance, so inside clearance can be written as D3 minus D1 divided by D1 into 100. So this is the expression of inside clearance, and the range of the inside clearance lies between 0 to 3%. Second one is outside clearance. So the expression of outside clearance is D2 minus D4 divided by D4 into 100. And the value of outside clearance lies between 0 to 2%. Third one is area ratio. Area ratio. It is denoted by AR. So area ratio is defined for the term that is for the cutting edge. So the area ratio is D2 square minus D1 square by D1 square into 100. So area ratio can be written as AR is equal to D2 square minus D1 square divided by D1 square into 100. And the value of area ratio for typical soil, it will be less than 20%, or for most of the soil area ratio should be less than 10%. Where if I write the notation, so notation will be, if I write the notation, so D1 is the inside diameter of cutting edge or cutting shoe. Similarly, D2 is the outside diameter of cutting edge or cutting shoe. D3 is the inside diameter of sampling tube, and D4 is the outside diameter of sampling tube. So inside clearance, outside clearance, these are the parameters to check the disturbance of the soil. Next term is recovery ratio. So recovery ratio is defined as the ratio of length of the sample within the tube to the depth of penetration of the sampling tube is the recovery ratio. So let us take some problems. So this is the first question. A sampling tube has an inner diameter of 72 mm and outer diameter of 75 mm, the area ratio. So firstly I will make the sampler. So this is the sampler. This is called cutting edge or shoe. So the inside diameter is given how much? 72 mm. and outside diameter is how much? 75 mm. And as I told you that the area ratio is defined for the cutting edge or cutting shoe. This is sampling tube. So area ratio can be computed as AR is equal to outside diameter D2 square minus D1 square divided by D1 square into 100. So it will be 75 square minus 72 square divided by 72 square into 100. So the value will be 75 square minus 72 square divided by 72 square into 100. So it will be 8.51. So the area ratio is 8.51%, and it is less than 10%, then it is okay, acceptable value of the area ratio. Second question, this is asked in GATE 2004. In context of collecting undisturbed soil samples of high quality using a split spoon sampler, following statements are made. The first statement is area ratio should be less than 10% and the clearance ratio should be less than 1%. So which of the following applies? Both the statements are true. Statement 1 is true but statement 2 is true but statement 1 is false, and the C option is statement 1 is true but 2 is false, and both the statements are false. So if I see the statements, so the area ratio should be less than 10%. Yes, it is okay. This statement is correct. Clearance ratio means whether it is inside clearance or outside clearance. So the range of the inside clearance is 0 to 3% or 1 to 3%, and the outside clearance is 0 to 2%. So the second statement is incorrect. It should not be less than 1. So the C option is correct. Statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false. So dear student, today I have discussed about the different types of soil sample, like what is undisturbed soil sample, what is disturbed soil sample, and after that the expression of inside clearance and the range of inside clearance. Similarly, the expression of outside clearance and the range of outside clearance and area ratio. So in the next class I will discuss about the expansive soil, what is expansive soil and what are the various tests conducted on the expansive soil, like what is free swell test and what is differential free swell test. So take care of your health and happy learning.